in a different realm. So I want to show you a couple of things that, for instance, you all did a Roadrunner shop in your demos. So you should be a little bit familiar with this Roadrunner idea right now. So I'm going to show you a shop that's sitting on hold. The reason it's on hold is because something didn't go quite right. Now, we're not going to cheat and read my notes that are going to tell you automatically what went wrong. So let's just kind of read through this report real quick. And I do mean quick because I want to get some other things, but I want to show you too what kind of things we need to look for. So a shop like this is a purchase and return at a running store. It does involve an engagement, okay? It involves them being there for a little while. The immediate thing I see when I look at this, that shopper was there for 15 minutes. That's not really appropriate for this type of shop. These shops usually run much longer. When I come down and I look, okay, so I was greeted. They asked if I'd shopped there before, but I waited 12 minutes. Huh, you waited 12 minutes, but you were only in the store 15. There's a problem. There's immediately a problem. Now I go down here, and this is a key element of the shop, that fit zone. Everything is marked no. There's a problem. So it says, the fit program staff were busy with other customers. I did not have a chance to do it. Well, they didn't have a chance to do it because they only waited 15 minutes, or actually 12 minutes. And then they went and fulfilled the purchase part of the shop by basically grabbing something off the shelf, going over to the counter and paying for it. This is not meeting anything that the client is asking for. Okay. Yes, the client's getting information on whether or not it was clean in the store and looked nice and smelled nice, and if there was music playing, but are they really, really doing this shop just for that? They're getting some information on what the checkout process was like, but what did we get? We got 4 sentences. We got very little information here for our client, but what we did get is a shopper who didn't do the things they were supposed to do. They didn't even try on shoes. This is all about trying on shoes. This shop is not okay. All right. Now, another checkpoint with these shops. If we look at the receipt for this shop and we see what they bought, we're going to see that they didn't buy shoes. Okay, that's all right. They don't have to buy shoes. The requirement for this shop is that they make a minimum $25 purchase. Okay, problem is, if they only spent $19.99, then we have a problem. So now we have multiple issues with this shop. But another thing I want to draw your attention to, if they didn't purchase shoes, this answer should be an NA, because how are they going to check the shoes for correct sizes and left and right? But you will be amazed at how often somebody will check no. If they didn't buy shoes, they can't check the shoes. So it should be an NA. So making sure that these little things, and there are things like this that are very easy catches. Okay, so look for them. If music was not playing and they check no, and they check yes or no here, we're going to have a problem. That's got to be an NA if there was no music playing. So read through and make sure you understand if the restroom was clean and properly stocked. If they write down here that the restroom was locked, but they wrote that it was clean and properly stocked, we have a problem. Okay, so if it was locked, it should be an NA, and they should note here that I couldn't check the restroom because it was locked. Again, they spent 15 minutes in the store. They really didn't do much of anything. So Is this an acceptable report to go to a client? No. So shop will need to be rejected. Shopper did not complete any required elements. And we didn't discuss this. When they made their purchase, they purchased the VIP program. What the client has specifically asked, and we ask in their directions, do not purchase the VIP program if you intend to return your purchase. They returned their purchase. They don't want to do that because that money that they spent to get into that VIP club or that VIP rewards program goes kind of in a different kitty. It's not sitting in the till in that store. It kind of goes to corporate, and now you're processed as a member, and now you have to be taken out of the process and all of that. And it becomes a big nightmare for the client to have to remove these people from their database. So they ask, please, if you're going to return the item, don't take the upsell to the VIP program. But yet this person did it. And we asked them very distinctly not to do so. So a little frustrating sometimes when these things happen. So you will kind of keep an eye out for these kind of things that don't jive. If they said that something happened and in another place they tell you flat out that it didn't happen, then we have a discrepancy. This is something you're going to see a lot of in editing. This is that client qualify, not quality. Okay, this is qualify. We want to make sure, again, we're spelling the client's name right, that we're doing. Now, when we talked about time of a shop, length of time of a shop, I look at this one, this is 10 minutes. Guess what? For qualify, that is fine. You should not be in this store more than 15 minutes, okay? Now, this is a very important thing that you need to understand about Qualify. Qualify is a financing company. Qualify is our client. Qualify asks us to send shoppers to a number of retail locations. That could be furniture stores, tire stores, auto repair, air conditioning, whatever. But guess what? This Novedades Chiquita Luis is not our client. So what goes on in their store, unrelated to their knowledge and selling technique of Qualify, none of it matters. The client doesn't care if Jose was friendly or not. The client really doesn't care. The client wants to know, what did Jose know about Qualify? And what did Jose tell you about Qualify? If he was the nicest guy on the planet but knew nothing about it, never mentioned it, and when you mentioned it, he goes, yeah, no, I don't know anything. That's what they need to know. Not that the sofa that I looked at had a stain on it, or that the windows hadn't been, cleaned in 2 months, or that there was dust everywhere I looked. They don't care about that. What they are asking for, however, is, did you see promotional materials for Qualify in the store? If you did, where did you see them? So let's just everybody picture in your mind a little furniture store, right? So you walk around, you're going to have window glass, you're going to have walls, you're going to have tables, all places that you might see promotional materials for our client, for any number of clients, okay? But where did you see, if you saw Qualify promotional materials, where did you see them? So it was on the coffee table, it was on the front door, it was on the windows, it was on the wall, it was hanging from the ceiling, whatever. There were business cards by the cash register, whatever it was. There were brochures sitting out on a counter, whatever it was that they saw, they're supposed to let us know. It asks about West Creek Financial branded promotional materials. So I'm going to give you a little clue here. The reason they're asking about what sounds like maybe it's a competitor, it's not. It's their old name. Okay. Qualify used to be West Creek Financial. Qualify would like to know if Novidades Chiquita Luis is still advertising West Creek Financial, or did they take those all, throw them in the trash, and put the Qualify ones out? This is what the client wants to know. Are they being represented properly? Were any other financial companies branded promotional materials found in the location? And they said yes, for Progressive Leasing. If we said no, that there were none, and I uncheck this, sorry, I guess it's not going to happen here. Sometimes this will make this roll away. This will make these answers roll away. I'll show you in the next one. That was not one of them. Okay. The shopping scenario. Did the sales consultant ask if you would be interested in financing? Well, if they do, yay. Shopper, ding, ding, ding. If they didn't, now the shopper has to lead them down the road. Like, hey, I really want to make a big purchase, but I can't afford it today, but I really need that new refrigerator. Now it's up to the salesperson to pitch that they have financing options. Did the sales consultant pitch the qualified financing solution first? No. If Qualify was pitched without promoting how was it mentioned, well, that's an NA because it wasn't. So if this is not marked, there's options. It was marked as a standalone, the only financing company mentioned. It was mentioned first of several others, second of several others, third or later. In this case, we're saying NA. So did they pitch the sales? Did the sales consultant pitch the qualified financing solution first? No. If they did, how was it mentioned? Well, that's an NA because they didn't do it. And you really want to be looking through these and reading through these questions. I'm going to tell you there are going to be hundreds of these edits every month. Get familiar with this. You will do these, okay? And if you get good at them, they won't take you very long. And it's an easy $2. And you can probably go through 10 of these in an hour and make yourself $20, okay? But get this wrong, that becomes a nightmare. Because now QC has to go back and fix it all. Now you're going to get editing feedback saying, hey, guess what? We have a little problem. You're not reading the questions. You're not verifying the answers match and all of that. So we don't want to go down that route. Okay, now, if not, did the sales consultant pitch another financing solution, Progressive Leasing? Okay. If yes to another financing solution, did the sales consultant change to Qualify after some prodding? No. If neither of the above, did the sales consultant pitch after some guidance? Finally, ding, 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 we got one. If still the answer remains no, what was the response when you asked a direct question about the Qualified financing solution? Now, kind of interesting that they're saying if yes to another financing solution, did the sales consultant change to Qualify? No. If neither of the above, did they pitch after some guidance? If this was still an NA, we'd be looking for a yes answer or a no answer here. But now they have picked Qualify. So now these answers should be NA. So if still the answer remains no, but the answer really didn't remain no because we're saying they talked about Qualify. So this should be an NA. If the sales consultant required a direct prompt. Now, this one we know it did. They had to pitch it. They had to prompt it. Did the sales consultant need to check if the qualified financing solution existed? Okay, so now we know. So this one's fine. This one's not. This one should be an NA. This one's fine. What product options did the sales consultant tell you were available through the qualified financing solution? They provide multiple product options, including loans and leases. Okay. When describing qualified product benefits, which of these did the sales consultant mention? That it's the same as cash and guaranteed approval. Awesome. Other financing providers promoted Progressive leasing. Now, if all of a sudden Progressive was not checked and Synchrony was checked, well, we have a problem, right? Because up above, he's already mentioned Progressive. Now our answers are consistent. That Progressive is consistent with this. Awesome. If not, again, we would need to check and make sure, because up here they're saying one thing, down here they're saying another. In this case, these comments, these answers match. This is great. Or if they had said none, we would need to come back here and correct and change it to Progressive. When you asked, so if I want to buy today, what is my best financing option? It was a different finance option. It was not qualified. Good to know. Very important information for our client to know. If I'm approved for the qualified financing, will I be able to use it in store today? They said yes. Explain that you may use your qualified account at any other store. They said yes. But now look at all of the things we said no to. They didn't tell you how to find other stores that accept it. They didn't tell you how to review your balance. They didn't tell you the difference. They didn't tell you that there was no application fee for applying. No, 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 no. Well, we know a little. We don't know a little, right? So now, did the sales consultant express that the application process is easy and approval takes less than 10 seconds? Yes. Did the sales consultant explain the approval process and how Qualify makes the determination? Yes. So I should stop to tell you that what is supposed to happen here is that that sales associate is supposed to offer to send a link to your phone, to the shopper's phone, for them to complete an application. As you will see, however, there's two options. So they can send a link to the phone, or they can attempt to complete it themselves on behalf of the shopper. The shopper does not and should not consent to this. In order to do this, the shopper would have to give driver's license, give all of their personal information. It is not necessary. We do not ask them to do that. If they ask them and they say, and here you'll see, if the answer was completed by the store, did they send a link when you requested it? So if that salesperson says, oh, hey, let me do this application for you, give me your driver's license. At that point, the shopper should say, hey, can you let me do it myself? Can you just send me the link? The salesperson should do that, okay? Sometimes they don't. This is another reason why we shop. Okay, so how long did the application process take? 10 seconds, boom. They said it was going to be quick, right? If you see this as saying, or sorry, a minute, 10 seconds. If you see that as like 15 minutes, something went wrong and there better be an explanation as to what it was. Did the sales consultant reference West Creek Financial at any time? Once again, their old name, they just want to see if it comes up in conversation. Rate the sales consultant's qualified financing knowledge. Well, we saw from up here, not so great. So I get it. I'd give them a poor as well. Rate how the overall flow of the financing application experience went. Well, this is a different question completely. So it sounds like it went all right. The guy wanted to, offered to send him a link, let him do it. All is good. Okay. So based on your experience, if you were in the market for financing, how likely would you be to choose qualified? Well, that's not a big, strong hurrah, but it did not seem to be the option the store was wanting. That makes me hesitate about taking it. That's a really good answer, and that's a really good perspective, because we could wonder and say, why is this store not promoting this? Why are they promoting progressive leasing. But the cynic in me says, yeah, maybe progressive leasing pays them more to promote them. So, but in all, it's what the shopper felt comfortable with and what they felt like they learned from this experience. So what benefits of Qualify did the retail associate highlight? And they said none. Well, that's not really true. We know up here that they did talk about some of the benefits. We already discussed this. So that information should be changed, and we should be incorporating that information that they learned about it. Okay, so we had them that it's the same as cash and it's a guaranteed approval. We know that they did promote that. So that's what we should be saying. So NA is not appropriate. If they told them nothing, and I don't remember if that was no approval or whatever it was the guaranteed approval. Okay, so that's not correct, and that should not be checked. So we need to make sure that everything about what we're writing and what we're reading matches. All right, now I'm going to kind of speed it up a little bit because I want you guys to not leave me before I'm done. It will be done in a minute, I promise. Easy financing, what benefits of other providers were mentioned? Easy financing and the ability to trade in. If the retail associate promoted multiple finance companies, which did they recommend and why? Why are they saying NA? Up here, they have already told us that they promoted progressive leasing. So this is inconsistent. These answers are inconsistent. So we need to change this. Okay. Based on your experience, what information was necessary to apply for the qualified financing product? Name, date of birth, and address. I'm okay with DOB. I know sometimes it sounds like I don't like anything that's not DOB standard. ID is standard. SSN is standard. But if they put ADDR for address, no, I'm not so happy about that. Based on your understanding, will a credit check occur? Their understanding is no. That's okay. Now, this summary box, minimum of 750 characters, maximum of 2,000. If you have a problem with this report, and it very well may be that you're not meeting the character count. If that's the case, if there's anything that you can pull in information to add a sentence or two, great. If not, let me know and we'll figure it out. Right there, we see progressive leasing on the door. So in this question, or any other promotional, okay, so this question doesn't ask where it was. Interesting that we didn't have that, but anyway, we asked for a picture of the front of the location. We asked for a picture of the business to the left, the business to the right. In this case, there is no business to the left. It's parking lot. That's okay. If they got a brochure, a business card, anything like that while they were on site, we want them uploading it here. In this case, that's a pretty good substitute for a business card because, you know, we're finding out what happened. So right now, I'm going to save, okay, because I made some changes here and I don't want to lose them. All right. I also don't want to lose you guys, but I am going to let you go in a minute. But I just want to say there are a lot more reports. There are a lot more types of shops. If you are interested in continuing on in doing this and you want to go over some other types of shops, absolutely, we will do so. Again, I strongly encourage you to read those client objectives, read those shop notes, read through the survey and make sure that it makes sense. As you just saw, that Qualify survey is a little bit tricky. There's some like traps in there. There's some pitfalls in there that if you're not really reading, and this is an expression I love in this business, read all the words. Because if you don't read all the words, you will miss something. you will miss something that's crucial. Okay. What we just saw there was somebody probably going way too fast, not reading all the words. Okay. Take your time. You will get used to this. You will get on autopilot with some of these reports to a certain degree. Okay. But never ever to the point where you're not looking closely enough. Okay. You will get comfortable after you do a few of these. You will get comfortable with those questions. You will know if this is marked yes, this one should be an A. If this is marked no, this one should be yes. Whatever it is, it should follow in sequence. They should make sense. So please, please, please give it a try. Okay. I will have you all, unless you ding me like before we hang up, somebody, if you're not interested, decide you're all here. I don't know if you're awake, but you're all here. That's good. If anyone has chosen that this isn't for them, please, just send me a quick message in the chat and just say, hey, thanks, but no thanks. If you are interested in sticking around, yay, I will have your permissions set up. If not tonight, by tomorrow morning. There should be edits available for you by tomorrow morning. Again, it looks like my team was really on top of things today. Thank you goodness, because it is the beginning of the month. And that means that all of these reports have to get through as quickly as possible so that we can bill the client. And when we bill the client, we get to pay our shoppers. When we get to pay our shoppers, we get to pay our editors. So it's all a really good thing. So we want to have you guys on board. We want you loving this. If you get into something that you're not sure about, please ask the questions. Email is best for anything comprehensive, anything that is a little bit more involved than a very quick, oh my God, I can't log in. Anything more than that, send me an email and I will look. If it's something with a report and I need to really kind of get in there, sign on, look at that report, then please just send it in an email so that Anastasia or I can go and review. Thank you very much. I've taken up a lot of your time. I appreciate you being here. I hope that we're all going to work together. I hope that you guys are all going to be my QC editors of the future. Unfortunately, I've been through enough of these trainings where I see that out of the 5 people I have today, the odds are that by a month from now, I'll probably have one of you. Prove me wrong, prove the stats wrong, stay with us. Let's keep going. Let's work together and let's make this great. Okay, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate your time. You will get an email from me by the morning.